Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet. Welcome back to another Starcraft 2 Daily Masters cast. Got an absolutely awesome game for you today. It's actually the first game that I've cast in over a week. So I was away on a work trip all last week, and every game that you saw last week was basically pre-recorded like a week in advance, just so I didn't have to do anything while I was at work. So I keep the Daily Masters going while I was off God knows where on the work trip. So anyway, I'm back now and getting stuck into casting, so it's gonna be awesome. Let's go and check out the awesome players that we do have here today. I actually got a drink somewhere that I've left somewhere, or maybe finished it off, I don't know. I might go grab it later, but for now, actually there's not much happening now. So I'll introduce the players and then I'll go grab it. Down at the bottom side of the map, it is going to be Mr. Jaedong. He is 24 years old, from South Korea. Plays for Evil Geniuses, and he's very, very awesome. He's got a little bit of a scout in here to deal with. So the scout is going to see the spawning pool coming after the hatch. Not really much else going on here. And up the top side, it is going to be Mr. Patience, who is also from South Korea, plays for the Alien Invasion team, and he's pretty awesome. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab my drink. I'll be right back. Okay, beautiful, beautiful stuff. I don't know if the probe did anything interesting, but I'm guessing nothing's really happened here. Oh, he's going to try and block the third. I know Jaedong has actually got a lot of minerals saved up. This may be for the double queen, though. Could definitely be. No, he's only built one queen. He's thinking about building a second one. There we go. He's built the second one, and now the third base is going to be going down. It's an extremely fast third base. I don't know how Patience knew that Jaedong was actually going to go for that, but he definitely has gone for it now. It's a pretty fast 30. He was probably going to do it a little bit sooner. Hold off on the queens, but Patience did at least force him to put the queens out first and then go for the third base. But still, that's phenomenally fast. And we've got a cyber core coming down, so I would not be surprised to see some very early pressure out of Patience. Maybe the Mothership Stalker combo. Probably a little bit late for the Mothership Zealot combo. He's actually building a sentry, so he's thinking defensively. I don't think Mothership... Mothership Sentry, I've never really seen it done. I mean, there's definitely some good combinations you can do with the force field. Blocking reinforcements out from the ramp and then hitting these guys is potentially possible. But yeah, I've never seen anybody try it before, so it could be interesting. Could be very interesting. Well, this game is definitely going to be very interesting anyway. So Mothership Core just taking a couple of free pot shots here. Man, this thing would be so overpowered if it could actually attack air, but luckily it cannot, just attacks ground. And here we go, Queen coming along, Mothership Core. I don't think the Mothership Core can actually handle that. So yes, he's going to have to back off a little bit, but of course until the creep comes down from that hatchery, the Queen is not just want to be sitting out there by itself. Stalker could come along and then the Queen would be in a very, very bad spot indeed. So there we go. Got cords all over the place down here. I've got my foot pedal, but it's getting tangled in cords. It's quite annoying. I should probably keep the mouse moving while I'm trying to play with this cord. But anyway, got Warp Gate Tech coming down for Mr. Patience. I love this addition to the replay. It's very, very nice. Sentry going nuts. I don't think it's going to be able to kill this. It is doing a very, very good job though. That guy's going down quite fast, but no, I think it should survive quite nicely there. So very, very good stuff. And on the economy side, Jaedong is going to be just busting out of the park. He's not too far ahead actually, but that push is going to come very, very soon. We can see 3 more workers. That's going to give him a 12... was a 12 worker lead, but Patience is continuing to push out, so maybe a 10 worker lead. And we do have Roaches out on the field. He's going to be building a couple of those. Hallucinated Phoenix, another great reason why you want to build that early sentry to get the Hallucinated Phoenix out. And it sees pretty much everything there is to see. I mean, as long as you see a Roach War in there, there's really nothing else you really have to worry about. We do have a bunch of Lings here, but they're going to be falling back ASAP. No way they can actually deal with all this stuff. Look at this. His Patience has actually built a phenomenal amount of sentries. He must be going nuts on the gas mining here. Really, really nuts. He's Got to deal with that Ling though. Should have left one sentry behind a defense, but regardless, he's going to be fine. And here we go, sentries. I don't know how good they are at actually killing roaches though. I wouldn't have thought they're very good because they're very low damage. I think they might be good versus zealots and stuff like that if they're in great numbers. Just zap them down, but against roaches, a little bit more difficult. Another Phoenix coming in from the other side, trying to see if there's any secret tech. Not finding anything. Mothership core coming out. This is a great spot for a mothership core to be just smacking these guys. Beautiful force fields here. And the Lings were caught out of position, but managed to burrow straight away. So nice job, Jaedong burrowing there. And as soon as he saw exactly what force he was going up against, he decided, you know what, my roach force is going to be okay. Instantly maxes out on the amount of workers they can build, just builds a crap ton of them. And now the macro from Jaedong is going to start to get very, very, very scary. He's in 62 with 5 more. He's going to be up to 67. And the roaches are actually going to be coming out. They've got to be careful of being bisected there. Force field is splitting them up into 2 groups. It's not too bad though. Couple of hallucinated Phoenix, that's not too much of a worry. Trying to go in, trying to attack something, they do end up burrowing. I mean, Patience does have a robotics facility, but I don't think he's actually got an observer as of yet. No, he does not. So this is going to be a bit of a problem. He's got an immortal halfway finish, so obviously he doesn't want to cancel that halfway through, but he's going to be chrono boosting it so we can get the observer out ASAP. Because, yeah, burrowed roaches, really, you don't want to have too many of them, because they're just going to be annoying as all hell. There we go, the observer's coming out, and Ling's speed coming out as well. Jaedong taking his time getting that upgrade, but I guess the roaches were the important thing, and now we're getting into the swarm host territory, so very, very nasty stuff right there. And swarm hosts on this map, if we Alt Z all the way out, we can see there's actually quite a lot of avenues here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't know if that actually helps with swarm hosts. I'd like to think that I don't know. I really don't. I don't. I mean, swarm hosts, they'll be okay defending. They're always okay defending, and I think it will be an advantage with the four passageways going down for this swarm host, because they'll just be able to direct into a single passage at a time. They only have to scout 4 passages. They have to do anything fancy with like an open ground or anything like that. Oh, there's very, very nice Patience just warping out at exactly the right moment. Takes down the hatchery. At the same time, he's got 3 zealots going nuts here. Jaedong should be able to save this, but oh man, the third base, not good at all. The zealots actually turning around to defend themselves. I don't think they had enough to take this hatchery out, so might as well do some damage to the Lings. And great job there. The hatchery does go down. Luckily, Patience, so Jaedong does have this base, so we can switch his workers over to there straight away. But yeah, talking about the swarm host once again, I don't think this 4 inlet sort of map does favour the swarm host as far as attacking goes, because I mean, there's no way that Patience can really get surrounded. It's going to be very, very hard for Jaedong to coordinate like 2 or 3 different swarm host pockets to hit him from multiple directions. I mean, it's doable, but they'll have to go through a choke point to get to that part, and it's a lot easier when it's just at a completely open map to just send swarm hosts everywhere and just start launching them in. But here, I mean, to get to this part, you have to go through this long, narrow stretch all the way down to here. This one is a bottleneck all the way down to here. So there's very long bottleneck sort of situations going on where you can't just, like, the thing of what I'm saying is if you wanted to move from there over to there, it takes a while. You have to go around a long way. You can't just instantly switch over to another angle. It does take some time for that to happen. I've actually got a nice warp in here. Look at the warp prisms. I don't think they'll be able to get to the lair, but so many workers are going to go down here. Oh, no, actually, the main force is coming in. And this swarm host, unfortunate. I don't know if these guys were supposed to be up. I think maybe he's supposed to send the locusts up there, but regardless, the roaches are going to finish them off. And Jaedong is just lucky that Patience doesn't have Dark Templar tech at the moment, because that would just be annoying. I don't think he's got any detection up there. And well, he's got an Overseer over there, so that's pretty good. Here comes the Warp Prism back, but Patience has got the Colossus out. He's building 2 at a time. Not anymore, because he's going to start running out of gas, but he's doing a very, very good job. And the Colossus, excellent, excellent counter for the Swarm Host. but still it does need a few more Colossus to really get that massive amount of play on the Locust. And Jaedong, of course, going for the ultimate counter to the Colossus, which is, of course, going to be the Vipers. It used to be the Colossus, but Blink Stalkers are a lot better at dealing with Colossus right now. With the Corruptors, sorry. So now it is going to be the Vipers. And yanking the Vipers into a swarm of Locusts, not a good idea. He's going to be a little bit worried about these Colossus. They're a bit exposed. And there are a lot of Swarm Hosts. The Swarm Hosts are actually starting to get knocked back. One of the Colossus getting a little bit too friendly out of the front army. Does get taken out. Where are the Vipers? They're out. Maybe they don't have enough energy. Maybe he's just bringing them out. Maybe he's waiting for the right circumstance. There's the Roach army. There's the Colossus being pulled into the Roach army. One gets instantly killed. The other one gets chased down. And the third one out of position. Roach has managed to destroy it. The Stalkers are getting right in there, but they're in the death zone right now. Getting flanked by Roaches. Stalkers right underneath their feet. They managed to blink up to the high ground. And they're safe for a matter of seconds. But they have to keep running to get out of there. And there we go, actually warping in some reinforcements here. Might be able to hold off against the Roach army, but yeah, he's actually holding off. He needs to get some Locusts or something there. Jaedong is actually not holding back this advance, and more Stalkers warping in here. Finally blinks down to the bottom, keeping on the move. I like this, but the Lings moving in en masse, and the Stalkers have to run. They cannot deal with that many Lings. Blinking down to the bottom. Got to get down there. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And now he should be able to run away. He's off the creep. He's in an excellent position. And man, did those Stalkers go through the grinder or what? Oh, one Stalker gets left behind. Does get killed. Unfortunate, but a lot of Colossus going down there. And I mean, Jaedong got his nose fairly bloody. Those Stalkers got in there nice and deep. Hit a lot of stuff. But I don't think they really took out any critical units too much, because Jaedong doesn't really have any critical units. And he's got the Swarm Host, but look at that, he was building 9 at one point, so he's obviously got a massive amount. And Patience, he was counting a lot on those Colossus, but he lost like 4 of them in that battle. So Jaedong, I'd say he's very, very much in a good space right now. We do have 2 more coming out. We don't currently have any, so there's going to be 2, and there's going to be 2 more. If Jaedong hits him while he's only got 2 Colossus, I think Patience will fold. If he hits him while he's got 4 Colossus, I think Patience may be able to hold off. If he's in a good position, if he gets a good bead on these Swarm Hosts, it's all going to come down to the Colossus placement, I think. And also to these Vipers as well. If Patience can get a good blink out there, start knocking the Vipers away before they can really get into a good position, it's going to be good. So here we go, the Locust, the beautifully ranged right here. He's actually going to range him in a little bit closer, but they're close enough. I reckon they could have attacked the gateways actually, but he's built a lot of units here just to protect this hatchery, just to buy time. I think these are mainly buy time buildings. The most damage you can do is really taking out this assimilator right here. Here we go, going in, and he's actually moved a lot closer, so these guys have a lot more time. And actually, here we go with the attack move. They actually will, by default, go ahead and start trying to attack the cannons, which means they have to run all the way around. It's a great tactic, as long as you have the cannons in the best position, but looks like he's focusing on that gateway right now, and now going to be focusing on the cannons. The cannons do manage to wipe them out, but this is only a matter of time before that base starts to force that Locust pressure. There we go, nice cancel forced there by Patience. In the meantime, his main army coming in here. The cannons go down, and the main army coming back over there. These guys are all going to get wiped out. There's not much that Jaedong can do, I think, to save this army. There's too many Immortals. The Roaches are going to get demolished. They can try and attack this base. They might be able to get it, but they are going to lose all of their forces trying. And there we go. Oh, is he going to save it? No, it does just go down. Another nice Warp Prism happening right here. The Zealot's getting in, doing a ton of damage, and Patience really keeping Jaedong on his toes in terms of the just warping in stuff all over the place. This base still alive, very, very nice. The Locusts not really getting in, and Jaedong pulling them back to help with the defense. I don't blame him, because the main army is coming in. The Swarm Host starting to fall down, and Patience is starting to turn this around. The Swarm Host just sort of bashing themselves against that third base before not really doing much to actually take down units. The Swarm Hosts need to be focused on wiping out this army right now, because if they don't wipe out the army, then it's basically just a wasted unit count. And so they're going to come in here, try and do it. The Colossus numbers are nice and big though, wiping out those Locusts without too much bother. And now it's going to come down to Jaedong just marching in his main army, trying to do something here. He's got to get a good flank on the army while the Locusts are keeping the Colossus, keeping him busy, I guess. And he'd love to get the yanking the Colossus into the Roach, but the Archons and the Immortals are really worrying Jaedong right at the moment. He does not want to run his Roach force into that army, but if he doesn't, then everything's going to get obliterated right now. I mean, Patience has a little bit less, but he's doing so good at the moment. He's killing so many workers right here. The worker numbers for Jaedong, we just saw it, it's down to 35, under 67. He's got to warp back here. He knows he's in a good position. He's got to warp back, and Jaedong does manage to snipe that third base, but is it too little too late at this point? His army has been really just absolutely smashed. He's still got a fairly large Stalker army, but they need to be in a position to do a lot of damage, and right now they're really not. They're defending here, but what have they got to defend against? Not much. Patience has pulled back, and really this is just not happening for Jaedong right now. He's got the Swarm Host, but they've been in the bad positions. I mean, they were all the way over here somewhere when his natural base and his third base got taken out. They were no help at all. Roaches tried to help, but the Roaches by themselves are not able to deal with Patience's army. Nowhere near enough. So yeah, Jaedong is going to have to, if he can interpose his Swarm Host in a beautiful location, maybe he can make it work. But unless his Swarm Host really start putting the effort in, I think he's dead. In fact, I think given all the losses he's taken in the previous couple of minutes, I think he may be dead anyway. And it's just it's not going to be enough, man. I mean, his main army, he's down to 10 Roaches versus a phenomenal amount from Patience. 5 Archons, 5 Immortals, 4 of these guys, 6 of these guys. He's got a bunch of Templars as well. He's actually researching Storm just for the hell of it. I think he's pretty confident at the moment. He's got a fantastic economy, so he can afford to just sort of sit back and let things happen however they want, build it up. And Jaedong's actually going for a ton of bases right now. He's going for 2, and I think he was upgrading something to a lair as well before. So pretty good stuff. Infestation Pit, Spire, going for all the tech. He's really got to get these bases up though. His back row has been really, really knocked back quite heavily, and he's got to get that worker count up there if he wants to hold off. But at the same time, Patience is just maxing out a massive army. He's still going for a 4th base. Sorry, his base takes ages, absolutely ages to rebuild there, but eventually that will go down. Starting to send a force out, seeing the Locust once again, but I don't think Patience is remotely scared of these guys anymore. He's been dodging them all game, and I think he is going to be fine. So he's going to move around, and this base is really, I don't know, and if this base goes down, I think that Jaedong is in a world of hurt, but he is moving the Locusts around, and here we go, trapped in the Time Warp, stormed the hell out of them. That's got to be it, man. That is just the nail in the coffin right there. I don't see Jaedong having any chance. There we go, the storm's going down on the workers. The workers getting demolished, down to 24 workers. This base is going to go down. Not much you can really do to sort of save that. The Swarm Host getting one last wave off, but they're just absolutely getting steamrolled. Archons attacking Locust, man. That's a scary proposition right there. Locust would just get absolutely owned. I mean, over a long time, the Archons will get killed by the Locust, but when it's up close and personal, and when you've only got one wave to save your base, Archons are not a good thing from the Zerg's point of view. So anyway, really, really great job there. And I gotta say, the pressure that Patience put on Jaedong, really, really nice. The Warp Prism play on the main base, beautiful. I mean, Patience did suffer an early loss, not really a major loss, but he did lose 4 Colossus, and that's not the sort of loss that you want to have happen that early in the game. Definitely not. Your first 4 Colossus, losing them all, it's pretty horrible, but he did bounce back off that. He kept his economy going. He kept the Zealots coming in. He kept pressure on the bases. He kept his play going with the Colossus. And I just got to say, man, Jaedong went for Swarm Hosts, never really did anything spectacular with them. And there were a couple of cases where he lost bases. The Swarm Hosts just weren't in a good position. I mean, the play that Patience did here, we had the couple of gateways and cannons behind him. That basically held up the Locust for so long. If you want to hold off the bloody Locusts, put cannons behind a bunch of high HP units. The cannons will hit the Locusts will go around the long way to try and attack the cannons, man. It's awesome from a defending point of view. But yeah, in the end, man, it just came down to Jaedong not using the Swarm Host as devastatingly as he might have. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the Vipers, they worked out pretty well the first time, but after that they kind of stagnated. They never really started yanking Colossus anymore. I mean, even Roach Viper play against the Protoss army is kind of good, but I mean, once the Archons started coming out in the field, I think it was pretty much game over for Jaedong at that point. I think it was just like, yeah, screw this. So anyway, this has been the game for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. So this has been Hairy Muppet. Yeah, see you guys later.